I'm Rachel,
I'm Ivy.
and we are Swords and Sapphics, a podcast all about queer media, representation, and women with a capital W.
Hello.
Hello.
Who are we talking to today?
Today we are talking to Francesca McMahon.
Yay.
Francesca McMahon is the author of The Spiral of Life, which I was talking about a couple episodes ago because I read it over Christmas, I think, maybe just after Christmas. It's a YA fantasy. It's sapphic and there's mental health rap and it's steeped in Scottish folklore. I realized yeah, I'm going on another digression, but I was talking about waterfalls to my therapist the other day. She was like, "What's a waterfall? What are you saying?" And I was like, "Okay, I need to start pronouncing things properly then."
Water.
Water.
Wow.
Anyway,
What about? Anyway, before we get to the interview, what are you enjoying these days?
well, we just recorded last week, so honestly, not a lot has changed. I was so brave and finished Claire's run in Resident Evil 2. So I'm now on Leon's run. Um, but it's actually not great because Mr. X be following me around.
And you were so brave and you let your sister play so you can just skip through the scary part. You're like 10-year-old sister, by the way. Uh,
Teen. But my sister is not easily phased.
I mean, I was thinking about it, and then I thought of her like living situation. I was like, nothing can really phase you after that.
I know. Yeah, she lives on a campsite, so like if a horror movie was going to happen to anybody, it would happen to her anyways.
She's preparing herself.
Sad, yeah, she's
Yeah.
great, she's great. And
Wow.
plus, I did introduce her to Fortnite and at a young age. She was playing Fortnite with us when she was like 9.
I mean, that does not.
Hmm.
That's fine to me.
Yeah, but it's strange because when she was very young, she hated scary things. Like she wouldn't watch Anastasia with me for the scary little rat guy, is he? Rasputin?
Rasputin, yeah.
Yeah, but now she's unfazed. She does like Stranger Things though as well. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. How about you? What are you playing?
I love God of War. It's so good. I just climbed into the world serpent's mouth. I'm currently inside of the serpent, which is both cool and terrifying. I'm expecting something to fight me, but then I'm like, why would a serpent have like living things or dead things inside of him? But I don't know.
You
I am inside a serpent, so I'm not gonna apply any logic here.
yeah, you don't know what he's been swallowing up.
Precisely. And yeah, that's really it. Like, also, nothing has really changed. I am, however, right now currently in the middle of Louis Theroux's documentary Inside the Manosphere.
I wanna watch that.
It just came out on Netflix. I do recommend it. None of it is very new to me because I'm very online. So I've
Mm.
seen all these men, like literally these and their copies and what they say. It is fascinating, especially I do like Louis, I do like his approach. I do watch
Yeah.
his interviews and it is interesting to see them interact.
Yeah.
And what was also interesting to me is he was interviewing some like fans of one of the podcasters guy, and they were saying like basically like things that a normal pe person would say, like the people on the top don't want you to make money. They want you to like just be working 9 to 5 and more, just, so they can get rich. But they're, instead of like thinking critically about things, they just
Yeah.
blame it on like some conspiracy theory. Like they call it Matrix and
Oh
things
right.
like it's
They
just
think that like a computer set the world up to be that way, not like men like
yeah,
them.
yeah. Which is like sometimes like the beginning of their thinking is like yeah, except someone else is telling them like some bullshit conspiracy theories, and they believe that instead of like thinking, oh yeah, the problem is somewhere else.
The call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah. It's just very fascinating. You know what? It's a fascinating thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like almost there, buddy.
Yeah.
You almost got it.
Oh, you just took the wrong turn. Yeah.
I think Louis Theroux is the greatest documentarian for that because you wouldn't want somebody going there and like spotlighting these people with these ideals, but he has that kind of deadpan blasé demeanor where he's very clear with his questioning
Yeah.
so that you feel like you're being educated, but you can also kind of tell when he doesn't agree and he has that like that they don't know he's making fun of them,
Yeah.
but he is.
I think that's also like the reason why they really let him in. Like, first of all, it was funny because he was showing like the comments people were making to the guys who let him in. So
Mm,
it was like the podcasters were like laughing it off, clearly thinking Louis less is less than them.
mm,
Instead of like and the comments were like he's gonna destroy you, blah blah blah. They're like, no, he's a wimpy, you know why? He's not very alpha, this kind of bullshit.
yeah,
And I think also what makes him, and I say it like loose, like non-threatening, is that he's what's how to say it, like they're not in defense. Like they think they have a conversation. Like he's not coming in really hot and trying to just put down the hammer and like get all the scoop out. He's
yeah,
doing it very not gently, but like he's very smart. He's very on.
yeah. He is, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. And he did phase them a lot afterwards. Like you can see where it clicks in them.
Mm,
And when they like get scared of him actually ex again like saying exposing loosely, but
yeah.
just framing it differently than they expect him to frame it.
I'm excited for this. I might have to start it tonight then.
Yeah, it's only an hour and a half, but yeah, it's interesting.
Honestly, every other week you get a notification that Andrew Tate has been arrested somewhere. Like I think it was like Serbia or somewhere. I don't know.
Still
What is
doesn't
that? It was Saudi Arabia, actually, I think I want to say.
honestly, man, and it still doesn't like last.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, that's yeah, I have like 20 minutes left, so I'll finish it after. But
Yeah.
yeah, otherwise I'm still reading Enchanting the Fake Queen by Stephanie Burgess.
Mhm.
And I am finishing Jesus, Book of Night. Not
Mhm.
House of Night. That's a different series that I read as a child that really built who I am as a person. Book of Night by Holly Black.
Yeah.
Then I'm finishing the audio, and then gonna, I have the second book, so I'm excited to start that.
Yeah, nothing changed for me. I listened to a little bit more of Fleet Cute by Meryl Wills now. I have nothing to add. Yeah, I haven't had much time this week to be enjoying things. Been watching terrible movies on Passion Flicks. Tosca Musk, weird thing happened. Tosca Musk like trapped me in a basement and I'm just stuck there watching Passion Flicks movies. Did we ever actually talk about Passion Flicks on the podcast?
I don't think so because you were always like, I cannot talk about it on the podcast.
Okay, well, I'm at the stage now where I've come to accept that this is who I am.
Finally.
I do, in fact, have a Passion Flicks subscription right now because they give you really great angst. They've adapted a lot of shitty straight white women books, but unfortunately, those books sometimes give me the angst that I want and like the high intense feels. It's basically like Hallmark movies with sex in them, but also sometimes with a little bit of guns and suspense and stuff. So I just finished the what was it called? Brothers Honor series, which Brenda Jackson wrote the books for. I don't know if like she put less time into these because it's all male, all black, an all black cast. Like, but they were just so rushed. There were three couples, and they were just like stealing time from each other in every movie, and it was just I don't know. It was a hot mess. It was really rushed ending. I didn't know what was going on by the end of it. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend this subscription to anybody. But like I said, I'm stuck. Somebody kidnapped me and I'm here.
Just to add to how long she lied to you all, it's from like September.
Yeah, it's been a while. It started with Lick, I want to say.
Which, again, context, that is a movie.
That's a movie. By Kylie Jackson was the author, I want to say. It was like a band member get married in Vegas by accident. They wake up married to each other. She has to sign an NDA and all that business. And he had a dangly earring. What do you want from me? Yeah, and then I got deep into the Gabriel's Inferno series, and
Deep in
it's
a way, she watched it twice.
I haven't yet,
Haven't
but
you? I thought you already watched the first one at least.
no, I rewatched Lick though.
Oh,
By the way, there's like one lick in the whole movie. He don't lick a pussy or nothing. He
false
just
advertising.
I know, like he just licks up her neck and that's it, just once.
Mm. Not even her,
No,
like in general. Like,
no, he don't like lick. He don't eat her out.
that's just
That's
a
the
crime.
thing. Like if it's gonna be called lick, I expect a little something more, you know?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. They're advertising these movies as NSFW, fire emoji, super smutty. They're so fucking tame. Like Gabriel's like trying to 50 Shades of Grey at saying that he likes certain things in the bedroom. Tie each other up once.
And then didn't he go to like, I don't want to have sex with you until we get married?
Hello. And then he decided to fucking manipulate it. He did an Edward Cullen, which I do believe Gabriel's Inferno is Twilight fan fiction. Yeah, he said he wasn't gonna. He said he wouldn't have sex with her until they got married, so they got married. Yeah, I'm not proud of myself for this. Like, I don't know who I am. I don't like who I am. I don't like who these films make me. Especially don't like that I'm putting money in Tosca Musk's pocket, although she seems pretty normal compared to her brother. I just need romance, and I just don't get enough rom-coms that give me the feels that I want to feel. So that's where I'm at. It is what it is.
It is what it is. I just finished my rewatch of Shrinking and I caught up because a new episode came out this Wednesday. Otherwise, yeah, now I'm gonna be struggling with figuring out what to watch while I
Mm.
work. And I'm catching up on Grace.
You should watch Eugene Levy traveling, the travel show
Yeah.
on
Well,
Netflix.
I do have Prehistoric Planet there, the
Hmm.
season 3, which is Ice Age, and I do have the dinosaurs on Netflix.
Oh,
But it's not something that I watch when I'm working. I need something like in the background, you know?
yeah,
So, I mean, I still have Angela and Buffy. I might go back to that then. But I do want
yeah,
to enjoy my Apple. It's a complicated thing that I have to decide.
I
So,
know.
we're gonna listen to our interview with Francesca.
Hey,
Enjoy.
I think that's it. She's ready. She's
I
on
cannot forget pressing the button. That's my only job.
it. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Would you like to start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So I am Francesca McMahon, or Fran, in the easier nickname sense. I am an autistic, ADHD, non-binary lesbian author, getting
All of
all of the
them,
things
all of
in
the
there.
alphabet.
I've got more as well. That's just a shortened version. And I am an author of specifically, exclusively sapphic and queer fiction of young adult genre. I also have some kids' picture books as well to kind of make sure that people are learning from younger ages about queer identity and being seen, with some adult romances on the way as well.
Oh,
Ooh,
yay.
exciting.
Okay, Ivy is gonna love your picture book because it's dinosaur, right? The
Yeah,
dinosaur.
yeah, the dinosaur who loved jumpers.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Oh,
that.
actually, hold on. I will show you. So this
Oh
is
It's so
my
it here.
God. Okay, I do adore him. Oh, yes. Both dinosaurs and jumpers are my two favorite things in the world. So like,
Oh yeah.
amazing. Could you tell us a little bit about the Spiral of Life and what inspired you to write it?
Yeah. So the Spiral of Life is it's our usual buzz term words for it. It's Percy Jackson but Celtic gods and make it gay. Um, and my kind of inspiration behind it was initially with the fact that my publisher and fellow author Anton Bandele, he had been writing this series called TJ Young and the Orishas, which is all about the Nigerian Orishas and deities. And he basically reached out to me being like, hey, I'm interested in like expanding this world, but like obviously I can't do cultures that I don't know about. Would you be interested in writing? And I was like, I'm always looking for an excuse to write a new story, but also a perfect excuse to be able to explore like my Scottish heritage and just Celtic mythology and folklore. Like I knew like bits and pieces, but I never had like the opportunity to like kind of have an excuse to dive into it. And this was the perfect one. And I just kind of like he said, would you be interested? I signed a contract. Within like 2 months, I had the first draft written.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Very different to how it is now, but like
Wow.
So when and how did you initially become interested in Scottish folklore?
So it's definitely from like my family side of things. So my dad's side of the family is Scottish. Though our surname, we actually have Irish connections as well, because as most people know, most Scottish surnames usually is an MAC for like the Mac sort of sound from the names, whereas mine is MC, which is usually an Irish spelling for names. And my mum is also obsessed with like ancestry.com and all that sort of stuff. So she's tracked both of our sides. Well, my dad's side all the way back to Ireland and her side to Cornwall, which is another Celtic aspect. So basically, I'm the embodiment of white because it's just all the Celts and all like Ireland, Scotland, Cornwall, a little bit of Wales somewhere as well. So it was just like interesting just to see kind of the fact that a lot of the Celts and like folklore and stuff are kind of all tied together in some way with their own interpretations. But specifically with the Scottish side, it was that I knew bits and pieces, mostly because I loved BBC's Merlin growing up. And obviously there's a mix of everything going on there, especially obviously the Arthurian myth. And it just kind of set me down the course of learning more about it. And there is a lot of fascinating stuff, and it just kind of stuck with me. And even when I'm not writing for Eileen, I'm always looking into new things.
Beautiful. Are there any creatures or tales that you haven't explored yet but would love to in the future?
Oh, so there is one which, funnily enough, I did actually explore in the first draft for the Spiral of Life. And it is one related to Arthurian myth as well, and it's called the Questing Beast. It's kind of like a sort of chimera type creature. So it has like the tail of a snake, some goat part of it as well, some leopard, I think. Like there's multiple different, I think it's like got 4 different animals a part of it. And it's a very like it's a very angry creature. Like if you run into it, you're probably gonna die. And I had like a whole scene within the initial draft where Eileen met this creature, and it turned out that they weren't actually angry and vicious, they were just injured. And injured creatures lash out because they think they're in danger, or that they're afraid of being harmed because they can't protect themselves because they're injured. And it was kind of going to be like a moment, because obviously in the story itself, a lot of Eileen's story is about her feeling like she is a bad person, that she is someone who can hurt others, and people should be away from her because she doesn't want to risk hurting them. And it was meant to be like a moment where she kind of recognized similarities between herself and this, in the eyes of most things, monster. And that actually is not a monster, because it ended up being like I think it's actually a snake head, now that I'm realizing. It like in one of the scenes, it lays its head on her lap and like does like a hiss purr. Because like she's looking after it, her and Freya are looking after it and stuff. And it was just kind of being like, oh, I was wrong. Oh, maybe I'm wrong about myself too, sort of moment. The only reason it didn't stay in the initial draft is just because I found something else that kind of worked a little bit better. And I was like, actually, I think I may save this for something later, which at this point may be the final and 3rd book of the series, which is currently in progress.
Exciting. Is there a reason why you gravitate towards the young adult genre?
Probably just because that's like still like even though I'm 30 now, it's still like the genre I still read the most. It's just the one that kind of like a lot of the stories within it just pull me in a lot more. Like I feel like I identify a lot more with the characters within it. And like it could be just that I've not explored enough of like more adult genres or anything like that. Which is definitely true. I can always expand, but you know, that's for later. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just for me, it's just a lot of what I read, but also it's a little bit of for me growing up, there was like nothing with queer characters or you know neurodivergent representation or anything like that. So nothing that I could really feel like I was seeing myself fully in. Like I still loved and identified with a lot of like the YA stuff that I read, but I want to kind of give the younger version of me something that I didn't have then, and just so new generations have something that they can recognize and identify with and see themselves like fully in.
That's beautiful.
I have to say, yeah, as I was reading it, I was like, oh, 16-year-old me would have loved this because like it has the perfect like it's just the perfect like magical vibe that you get from like YA fiction when you're like discovering worlds for the first time and it's like a completely new thing. And I was like, I'm gonna have to give this to my to my cousin and my sister because I want them to experience it that way too. But like it's not a tangible thing you can capture. Like you can read a lot of YA stuff and it's not there. You can kind of tell that like an adult's written it, but like these were real like young adult characters and I just felt it. It was great.
Thank you.
Let's talk characters. Aileen, is that right? How you say it, Aileen?
Eileen.
Eileen. Okay. Eileen is a powerhouse of a YA protagonist. Like she was giving me like Katniss, but she also had that like added edge of like her anger and her mental hell. Could you tell us more about how you came to create her and why it was important for you to develop her that way?
Um, I suppose it was like funny enough, like referencing like Katniss and stuff like that. There was a lot of like YA characters that I kind of thought of when I was writing her, that were kind of different to like usual like girl protagonists in stories where like a lot of the time it's that whole thing of like if you're a girl you know you can't be angry, you can't be aggressive, you can't be vicious or violent or anything like that because it's not a girl thing to do, but it's also just a bad thing to do as a girl. And it just kind of came to me, it was like it would be interesting in like I was interested at least as well, but I was hoping it'd be interesting for readers to have a character who at the start of the book has done something terrible and can't forgive herself for it, doesn't want to forgive, or at least not fully forgive herself for it, and kind of grapple with that, and her kind of being this sort of not like anti-hero because that's too far that way, but like a sort of grey character in that she has done terrible things, she continues to do some terrible things, but she still tries her best with what she's got and what she can do, of like trying to make amends in some ways, of just recognizing that she's done bad things and just trying to kind of find a way to fix it in her own way. I just thought it would be just really interesting just because it's not something you see a lot. And there's definitely obviously characters that are like that. Like Katniss was considered somewhat of an unlikable main character because she's very brash and very, you know, closed off a lot of the time. And Eileen is very similar in that way, though she is also very emotional, but in that sort of hidden way of like not wanting to burden others, which in itself causes its own problems, especially in terms of like the mental health way of like she doesn't want to tell people she's not doing well because, well, it's, you know, this is my karma. I did a terrible thing, so I deserve to feel terrible for the rest of my life. And I just thought it was like I wanted it to kind of have that deep message, especially for younger readers and teens, because like teens do stupid Can I swear, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, swear.
Okay.
Swear.
Teens do stupid shit. Teens are also fucking assholes sometimes. And like Eileen is an asshole sometimes. She has done really shitty things, but it's the usual thing. I think I'm going to quote this really badly of just like, you aren't a bad person because you do bad things. You are a bad person if you do not acknowledge that you have done a bad thing. I'm just like, if you just done something horrible and you're kind of like, then you're a shitty person. She did a bad thing and she acknowledges it and tries to figure out how she can, you know, redeem herself from it, as well as grappling with the whole thing of, do I deserve it because of what she did, and all the conflicts that come with that. And it was just a really interesting thing to kind of explore.
It's interesting you said like anti-hero, because she's absolutely not when you read her, but in a way she's like the villain of her own story. And it's so interesting to see that, because you're rooting for her as the reader, but she's like herself in a position where she thinks that she's kind of her own villain. You also focus a lot on family dynamics. Did you take any inspiration from your own upbringing, since you're half Scottish yourself?
A little bit here and there. Funnily enough, it was, and I feel like this is going to sound like I'm insulting my family, but it was a little bit of kind of what I wanted more from my upbringing. Mostly in the sense of like, so Scottish side, Catholic side as well, being queer and non-binary and autistic as well. There's a lot of grappling that kind of comes from that of, you know, acceptance took a little while in that sense. One of my nans was also really great, also the Scottish one in this case as well. She basically just heard it and she was like, cool, what did you call for? And just kind of was like, we can move on, it's fine, whatever. And that was also great, but also kind of having of like, well, I wanted a little acknowledgement as well of just like how difficult these sort of things are. But I also didn't really have a lot of that closeness with my family, mostly because in this case of the autistic side of myself as well, of I'm not a big like hug person. Like I don't like a lot of physical touch. And unfortunately, a lot of the time family, they're like, if you're not hugging me, what did I do? Like, why I like, have I done something to you? They take it as a personal slight, when it's just like, no, it makes my skin feel weird. But like, there's not really a way to describe that when you're kind of growing up, because you don't really understand. Especially in my case, when I only got my diagnosis about 5 years ago, so when I was 26, 27. So I didn't understand why like my skin would feel weird, or why I couldn't cry at certain things. So when my grandfathers passed away, I couldn't cry. I just didn't feel like I could. I was just like, they were in pain, they're in a better place now, why would I be sad about it? And that's how my mind sort of worked. And unfortunately, a lot of my family saw that as I didn't care, and not at all. Loved my granddads, but that was the logic part of my brain. And it's why when I wrote Mama in particular, I loved the two sides of my grandparents and my parents, but they always felt like smaller things, like these really empathetic, loving parts of them. Which again, not to like insult my family at all, but like that's the sort of feeling sometimes. And I kind of wanted to put all these positive, loving things that I had experienced in small bursts from my family, and put the whole thing into one character of like, this is what I really wanted, like someone who was so understanding and empathetic and kind and loving, and was the sort of grandma like you'd think you'd see in like a TV show, who'd always have like warm cookies when you came over and stuff like that. And that's what Mama came to be. Adding the whole Scottish side of it as well, and you know, having that chance to explore a little bit more, whereas I didn't get to explore a lot of my Scottish side growing up. I only visited like my dad's home city of Glasgow twice, and I have gone back a few times like by myself since, but it definitely kind of was like a separate thing. So I was like, I want to put all the things that I didn't experience or all the things that I wanted into this character. And like everyone, like every time I've spoken to someone, everyone loves Mamo because she's like, I want her to be my gran. Like I want her to be my Mamo. And that's why she kind of came to be.
Amazing.
As well as all these wonderful humans, you give life to gods and creatures like a Selkie. How did you create the personalities of these mythical beings?
So that kind of like varied a lot of the times. In the case of Bardane, I just like the idea of like, you know, Max from Tangled, the horse. I was like,
Yeah.
I wonder what it would have been like if Max could talk. That was kind of essentially my thing. And it's very much like it's Eileen and Bardane are Max and Flynn, where it was in the case of Tangled, Max had somewhat valid reasons for hating Flynn because it was like, you're a thief. You've done bad things and all this sort of stuff. In Eileen's case, Bardane is just like, no, you just kind of suck as a human. You're not magical, you're not interesting. Freya, on the other hand, love Freya, best human, number one. You get all the awards. Eileen, go away. And it's just kind of like, there's no reason for him to dislike her. He just kind of does, just like on sight. It was just a thing. I was just like, I like the idea of being able to write witty banter between them. Freya getting in between, just being like, guys, come on, calm the fuck down. And that just kind of came from the whole Max from Tangled thing. Similarly with the gods being sort of these not they kind of have that sort of holier than thou attitude of like, you know, we are gods, like everything we say is important sort of thing. And it's because, you know, in a sense that is true, they are gods, they have control over many different elements. Like without them, in the case of Spiral of Life, without Conunus, the Lord of all wild things, you know, the environment in the human world is going to disappear and die. So very, very vital to human existence, or at least the Celtic human existence. So I kind of wanted to kind of show a little bit of the reality of what gods probably would have been like. Because as much as like I love Percy Jackson, the gods are very human, which they are in like the original mythology, but they're just kind of even more humanized in some way. And even though I'm like, I understand the reasoning for it, I kind of wanted the gods in my series to feel more godly and like to have this aura about them of just power. They are definitely nice. They're a lot kinder than what some gods may be, in that they have a lot of empathy for Eileen in her situation, for example, but they are still all powerful beings. And even though she says no, they do somewhat orchestrate a way for her to say yes.
And also we need to give a moment to Bridget because she's humongous blacksmither.
Yes.
That's a reason to read it, if nothing else.
Yes. Tall, buff, blacksmithing ladies.
Yum.
Little fun question. If you could be a mythical creature, what do you think you'd be?
Oh, I'm gonna go so gay and say a unicorn.
That's a good answer.
And there was a lot of detail around Eileen's blacksmithing work. Did any research go into this? And how did you make the scenes in the forge so authentic? Because it sounded like you knew what you was talking about.
Yeah. So I half did and half didn't. So I did do a blacksmithing experience. So I went and learned and did like an actual blacksmithing day. I actually have like a video of it on my YouTube channel of my day at the blacksmithing forge. I made like a
sorry, as like a research for the book, or just like before as a fun thing to do?
For research for the book specifically.
Okay.
And like I was like, this sounds like a good opportunity. I was also kind of like, I'm going to use this just because this is the coolest thing ever and I want to give it a go. But I was like, but I can use this as an excuse for book research as well.
It's work.
Exactly. It's work. It's tax deductible. um, and so yeah, I went into the experience, made a barbecue toasting fork so I can like roast marshmallows and stuff on it, which is very, very fun. And like us, the guys who run the forge and do like these experiences, like all questions and stuff like that, just to kind of understand a little bit more of how things worked. And then did like further research of like I followed a bunch of like blacksmithing YouTubers who would do like commentary of how they were making things, so I could like hear what they were saying and figure out how to put that into words specifically to make sure it was accurate in the book as well. And it was a lot of fun. Like I'm definitely going back again sometime this year to do another blacksmithing experience, just because I like, you know, refresher for the final book as well, because it's at that point it'll have been 4 years since I did the first experience. I was like, I need a refresher. I need another course for the last book. But it was a really good time. And I wanted to make it as authentic as I could, because like I know like a lot of blacksmiths hate how it's portrayed in like media and books, just because it's so like you put it in fire once and then immediately in water. I'm like, no, that's how you destroy what you're making. It's a very long process. So yeah, I wanted to try and make it authentic for them.
And are all blacksmithers as huge as they are in media? Or do you not need as many muscles as you think you do? So, important question.
No, very important question. So the guys that I met and like the YouTubers that I've seen, there's definitely a lot of bulk. It's not always like necessarily like muscle, but it's definitely like it's like rugby player sort of energy of like you have to have that physicality to you. So definitely rugby player sort of mass and physicality. So like I was like exhausted by the end of my day, but I thankfully had been going to the gym for a little while at that point, so I had some muscle to me, so I could do it a little bit easier. But I definitely was not super strong enough. So I think if I'd been doing it a little bit more, I would have gained more muscle from it. So you definitely get muscular, and you need to be somewhat muscular and strong to be able to cope. But definitely not like I'm trying to think like bodybuilder sort of muscle, sort of heavy. I definitely describe it as like the rugby muscle sort of vibe.
I need to go sit somewhere by a forge.
I was about to say, no clubs, not going to clubs, no, going to like a blacksmith.
So is book 2 coming out this year?
Yes, so it should hopefully, fingers crossed with everything, be out on the summer solstice, so near the end of June of this month. So I think that's the 21st of June.
Amazing. I have a book around that time coming out as well. We might be publishing buddies.
I'm so that if we will speak after. We will we can organize and do like I'm happy to do like posts on my social media as well. It's like book buddy release at this point as well.
Like Barbieheimer, but like in books.
Yes.
Let's go.
Wait, what's the title? We should come up with our own hashtag.
Yeah.
Well, mine is Scottish as well. It's very spicy and adult, so it's not really the same audience, but we can totally do something.
You'll figure it out.
I mean, I was gonna say that's definitely Barbenheimer though. Like Oppenheimer and Barbie were not the same audience.
It's true.
Yeah.
As a queer indie, have you come across any challenges in your publishing career so far? That's a it's a hard word to say.
It definitely is. Don't worry. I've definitely come across some issues in the sense of just like it's really hard to kind of get your name out there as an indie. A lot of time readers, if they don't know you, they won't always pick up your book. Especially in the case of indie, of like the fact that a lot of my stuff doesn't automatically end up in bookstores. They have to be ordered in for there to be any connection to a bookstore. And even then, they don't always keep like copies on their shelves and stuff afterwards. Sometimes they just have one ordered in for someone to pick up, and then that's it. So it's definitely kind of like the name of what's the word? I can't think of what I was trying to say. It's definitely like the lack of people knowing who you are, which is why I do like a lot of conventions and stuff to try and try and get my name out there and people like be able to interact with me so I can kind of give them the pitch. Because if you just come across it on like Goodreads or Amazon and stuff like that, sometimes people will be like, oh, this sounds really interesting, I'll give it a shot. But even then, it's very like hit or miss. I can go either way of just like, oh, this sounds interesting, I'll give it a go. Like sometimes I've had people who've seen my book online and being like, oh, that looks interesting, but I don't know them. So I've never read anything, I've not really heard of them before. So I think I'll pass. And then I've met me in person, heard it all, and been like, actually, you know what, I've heard a little bit more. I've now gotten to know you. I'll give it a shot, and then buy a copy from me in person. It's happened a couple of times actually, which I was always surprised about. Of like they'd actually seen me online, but it was only seeing me in person. And then kind of figuring out who I was, did they go, yeah, all right, I'll get a copy, sort of thing. So it definitely kind of has its challenges in that sense, especially also in the case of like self-publishing side, which Eileen is with a small publisher, so not similar to the self-publishing side, but it is quite expensive as an indie author, as well, of getting things together for like covers, editing, etc., and then trying to recoup those costs back. I've been doing this for about 6 years now, and I've technically am still not in profit yet. But that's also with like I've got 11 books out, so that's 11 books that I've financed and have or are about to release. So it kind of makes sense that like occasionally you get back into the red after a while, but it's a long process. I'm also having to work a part-time job at the moment as well, just to have that additional stuff for like rent, etc. So it's long, but I definitely prefer it to, and this is no shade to my publisher, not at all, but I definitely prefer self-publishing. I'm a control freak is what I'm saying, essentially.
I was just going to say, is there anything, a reason why you kind of prefer self-publishing? But it makes complete sense.
Yeah, it's definitely, it sounds really bad to say like it's 100% a control thing, but it is
No,
a control thing.
Yeah.
It's fair enough.
Well, we always like to ask people, what are you enjoying at the minute? Whether it's a TV show or a book or games, really anything. Just bonus points if it's sapphic as well.
Oh, so it technically is sapphic, and it is. I'm rewatching an old show of mine, so I'm in the final revisions for Eileen Book 2 at the moment, and because obviously, I'm sure you know this, Rachel, as well. Like writing is a very solitary process that you can get really lonely sometimes, and especially in the revision process, because I hate revising. I hate it so much. I'm like, I know this, I don't want to keep going through it, but I have to. And so usually what I do when I'm revising is I will have like a TV show or movie that I know so well on the background on the TV or like on my laptop or anything like that, just kind of make me feel less alone. It sounds so sad, but like it's that's how it is. And so I'm currently rewatching Person of Interest, which has a slow burn sapphic love story in it between a sociopath and a psychopath. It's Killing Eve if it was, we didn't have that ending. Although technically we do get that ending in Person of Interest as well, spoilers, but but it was really, especially for the time period as well. So this released in I think the first season was 2012, and like it concluded in 2015, 2016. And it's an American show as well. So to have main characters who were sapphic was, very rare around that time. But it's just a really enjoyable show. It's very procedural of like these guys. There's again, very ahead of the time. It was an AI machine that was like a surveillance thing to like kind of detect acts of terror in the case of it at that point, and it would be able to see anything that was being planned and stuff like that. But it also started to detect premeditated crimes, so like someone who's going to commit a crime against someone or someone who's going to be a victim of a violent crime. And so these guys decide, well, we know this is going to happen. Why are we letting it happen? We could stop it. So they kind of basically go on this whole series of, protecting and stopping crimes happening to ordinary people. And it's a very, very like fun and interesting show. I highly recommend. It's currently on Netflix now as well, which and also on Channel 5.
Already putting on my list because you just really sold it. I really had to Google it immediately, just like to keep it in my head.
But it's very, very good. You'll also recognize a lot of the actors from it as well. Like the guy who plays Harold was in Lost. Yes, I don't remember if he was a main character. I think he becomes a main character at some point. Yeah, so he is in Lost.
Hi. The creepy.
Yes, the creepy guy. Yeah.
The others. Oh my God. Yeah, I thought I saw this advertised at some point, but I didn't know there was sapphics in it.
Yes, they come in around season 3 is when they kind of, well, it starts in season 2, but the proper flirting happens in like season 3, and then the flirt, like the actual kind of build into it happens is a whole, it's a slow burn.
I can imagine.
Amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna have to watch that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm watching currently.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sad we're running out of time. That was fun.
Yay!
I wanted to know, what mythical being would you be? But not like a choice, but like if you as your personality matched a mythical being, what would it be?
Oh no. I would like to think it's something really cool, but I don't think it is.
I think you'd be a witch.
I would love being a witch.
I think so.
I could be like a plant witch.
Yeah, I think so. I'd probably be like a tree nymph or something.
What?
A tree nymph.
Oh.
Like, I would love to be fae, but I'm not manipulative enough to be a fae. So it would have to be a nymph. I don't know. Are nymphs? I don't know.
Nymphs are very, it depends, I guess, what folklore you touch, but
Yeah.
the ones that I know are like more like whimsical, like go
Yeah,
with the
that's
flow.
what I was thinking. I feel like I'd be quite whimsical. Just want to be hugging the trees. Maybe I'd just be some like super rare mushroom though at the base of a white oak tree. I don't know. Like
You should be like a super rare mushroom in like a mushroom circle.
you could use me for your
I would-
herbs and tonics.
You would live in my garden. I would take care of you.
Aww.
Is this like would you love me if I was a worm type of thing?
Love me if I was a mushroom. I was gonna make a joke that I hope he'd leave me mushroom to grow.
I don't think, as you know, I'm getting too much into this, but if
Yeah.
I was a witch, I wouldn't be able to handle like a forest though. I would have to be like at least the edge of the city witch,
I think that would be fine.
right? I would be like hiding in the plain sight, and the whole city would think like, "Oh, she's weird," and I'm like, "They don't know what I know."
You could just be like a little suburb. You could be like at the Edward Scissorhands house, the
I'm
witch on the
thinking, what was it? The Good Witch, type of a witch. You've never watched it, have you? Yeah.
Oh, Charm.
I was supposed, yeah, I was like, obviously, I would love to be a Halliwell sister, but I don't think I'd handle all that well. I cannot fight demons. I barely can fight my own.
Yeah. You could be a vampire though as well. You do be sucking the life out of me. I'm kidding.
She was saving that one for like a couple of months, just waiting for the
No.
right time to use it.
No.
She says she's kidding, but I know the truth.
No, it's not true.
I would, again, like that's one thing I would love to be, but I cannot stand the look of blood.
Oh yeah,
Squeamish. That's like an issue.
somebody should write that. A vampire who's squeamish. Somebody needs to write that.
Oh yeah.
What about a werewolf? No, because then you'd have to live in the woods. You'd be
Yeah, unless I would turn into like a full wolf or like a dog passing wolf, and someone would just be taking care of me in front of a fireplace, just like brushing my fur and giving me belly rubs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess I just want to be a dog, really.
You could be a familiar then.
Ooh, yeah, yeah.
You do have black cat energy, I guess.
Do I?
Do you think that like your black cat, I'm golden retriever?
Maybe.
Well, mostly just in appearance.
Yeah. I don't think I don't know, something I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't call myself a black cat, I guess.
Yeah.
To me, they're like very mysterious, cool
I
people.
think I think your fringe has affected my psyche.
Fair.
And I'm now seeing you as darker and more mysterious than you actually are.
Fair. I do feel different. Not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. I would make a good banshee because I like to sing.
It's not,
Or a siren.
but she's really do.
Okay, so a siren then.
I would love to be a mermaid. I would just if I could swim all day and have a really beautiful, luscious
Yeah,
locks,
I see the vision actually.
I
Yeah.
could make a friend out of a shark.
You could do that. Yeah. Oh, that's what I did. I read Castle Swimmer Volume 2 this weekend.
I thought you had a friend with a shark. I was like, what the fuck?
I forgot about that. I read it yesterday.
Oh, nice. We got a free copy, which we were very grateful for.
Yeah.
I did read it around Christmas time, I think, and I loved
Mhm.
it. I'm so excited for now to like more.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very soft.
Yeah.
I love the higher stakes in this book because they had several moments where one of them got hurt. And
Uh,
also the big plot twist I wasn't expecting.
I know. And you know what? As like an adult, I do feel the mom a lot. I would like to feel
And
the mom more, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But yeah, yeah.
I loved the women who basically adopted him at the end. What's his name? Cap Kappa.
Kakapa, yeah. They're so chaotic. I adore them.
Yeah, there was
They're
some
like the
shark.
perfect chaos.
Sorry, I derailed because we were talking about sharks.
No, fair enough.
I don't know if I could live in the water. Water.
I cannot think of anything better.
I like being in the water for a short while. I love especially a hot bath.
Mm.
So really I'd be like the mermaid in Splash, where Tom Hanks basically like kidnaps a mermaid and keeps her as a like fetish.
Mm.
But I don't want that for me. So
Fair. Fair.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think I'd be?
You know, I think of fairy, just like the little, like a Tinkerbell type of fairy,
Oh, yeah.
just jumping
Oh,
on like sleeping in a sunflower.
yeah. I would love that so much. I would be like that. You know how Lahaba from Crescent City
Mhm.
series, because I don't know, she gives me the impression that she's quite a chubby little girl.
Yeah.
I think I could be like that, but maybe not with fire. Maybe
Fair.
with like sunlight or something.
Mm, fair. You know what? Actually, I would love to be as the Barbie in Fairytopia, who was like a different creature in every movie.
And I didn't watch that one.
She was like a normal girl, then she became a fairy with her wings, then she was a mermaid, then she was a fairy again with a different wings. Like that one I dig.
Just a
And she
little
could
bit of.
drink like her drinks from the little blooms of flowers, and that's something that I aspired. I just want that to happen to me at some point in my life.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I like that one. I like that
Thank
one.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the interview, Francesca, because we sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And until next time, remember to,
Support women's rights.
most importantly, support women's wrongs.
especially if they're a blacksmither with anger issues.
And we shall see you later, alligator.
In a while, crocodile.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. You can expect an episode every other Wednesday.
And be sure to expect lots of guests, including authors and queer creators.
While waiting for the episodes, feel free to check out our website, swordsandsuffix.com.
Be sure to submit to our forms if you're a queer creator to be featured on our blog or our monthly release lists.
You can also take part in Swords and Suffix and Scribbles, which is a monthly writing event to help you reach your goals.
And if you're just looking for a community that will be supportive and joyful, you can join our Discord server where most of our writing events take place, but also we just have lots of conversations and lots of fun.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, and TikTok, where you can find us as all kinds of versions of Swords and Suffix.